So I'm here to bust a few myths. And I'm going to start with a few stats. It cuts through the rhetoric and it gets to the evidence base of how we can all make a difference as SMEs. 99% of businesses in the UK are SMEs. That means 1% are big corporates. Those SMEs have a combined annual turnover of £1.8 trillion. We are a powerhouse in the economy. This is for the ladies. It's estimated that UK SMEs that are led by women contribute £75 billion to economic productivity. SMEs deliver powerful results. It's estimated that boosting the magic 6%, which are the scale-up SMEs, those with growth ambitions, such as Stephanie's, are particularly important to the economic growth, both in the regions and across the UK, and job creation. And it's estimated that basically those businesses will generate 230,000 new jobs and add £38 billion to our gross domestic product. SMEs already keep half of the UK's people employed. That doesn't include multinationals, that doesn't include government, with 16.8 million of those clocking in at least once a day. It's therefore no surprise that 4/5 of those increase the public sector employment. So, final point on my stats is since the last recession, which hurt a lot of us, we've seen that a small group of these SMEs have created a disproportionate number of jobs. High growth, and they are estimated to generate 68% of the new jobs in the UK moving forward. So, I'd like to build on the key messages of encouragement from Stuart and from Stephanie, and I want to explain to you how SMEs can build a vibrant, prosperous economy here in Scotland, because we need SMEs to become more aspirational. We need them to learn to collaborate and partner with other companies, including other SMEs, on the larger and more complicated contracts. We need public sector procurement and spending to deliver best value, and SMEs deliver best value. We bring new opportunities into our local communities and our local businesses if we are ourselves ambitious. And of course, as I've just evidenced with statistics, we grow jobs and opportunities and we upskill our communities. So, sometimes, historically, government used to say to us, SMEs are too small to take on government business because government is so big and so complicated. However, that's not true, and the SME Advisory Panel is going to bust those myths. We've been collecting case studies and we've done consultations across the whole of government to actually look at the facts. Those facts are that SMEs have deep expertise and they're wise about bidding only for the work that they know they can deliver. People could argue that SMEs are as risk averse as government buyers, but we are more cautious because our business is on the line. As Stuart has said, we're far more innovative and resourceful about finding new solutions to old problems. We clearly offer better value because we have fewer overheads. SMEs are more agile, responsive and adaptive to the customer's needs because the business is important to us. We care. SMEs, mainly the mid-sized companies, also do a lot of the heavy lifting. Sometimes the heavy lifting that some big corporates say only they can do. Established mid-sized businesses, increasingly, such as Stephanie's, actually have strong capability in quality management, relationship management, cyber and information security. They're commercially mature and they can act as prime contractors for consortia of other SMEs to deliver bigger projects. These aren't just claims made by SMEs. These are truths evidenced by the CCS, Crown Commercial Services Civil Service Survey, and it's collaborated by case studies and supported by government buyer testimonials. It's too easy to focus only on the lessons learned from a negative perspective. There are a lot of really valuable lessons that we can learn by studying positive exemplars of what great SME government business looks like. This should be motivational to absolutely everyone here. If you want to grow, if you want your local community to prosper, be part of that. SMEs are working with Crown Commercial Services to cut through the narrative and the unconscious biases that existed before to look at that evidence-based. The Harvard Business Review is talking about a new breed of SME that's characterised by actually having global ambitions and bigger ambitions over time. Large corporates have been watching these organisations, and they're now spending more on collaborating with SMEs than they are on their own internal R&D, because they deliver better results. Big corporates are increasingly turning to SMEs to help them keep up with the pace of change in the marketplace. So if SMEs are actually the innovators and the modernisers of large organisations, then we can actually do an amazing job working with our own government. We can learn from those large and complex organisations that we work with as customers and bring it across to working with government. We just need the positive ambition and the goodwill on both sides. So, Crown Commercial Services has invested very significantly in making policy, structure, procedural and cultural changes to better support SMEs working with government. It's not perfect, but there is a genuine appetite to do more and better business. Scottish SMEs are key players in that ecosystem and in that equation. I'm encouraging every Scottish SME to be more ambitious. Come on, Scotland. We actually work, I'm an Australian, you've probably gathered that from the accent, and we work with quite a few Scottish SMEs, including in Glasgow, who are building our new global website. You have incredible capability and you play yourselves down. I think Stephanie's point about learning to actually surface how good you are is so important, because the large corporations are absolutely shameless about expounding their virtues. We have great economic potential in our own businesses and for our communities and for our local economy. Most of the jobs are going to be created by us, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. This time last year, the Prime Minister reminded us all, government can and should be a force for good. So to the government buyers in the audience, I ask you, please, be open-minded, leave aside your unconscious prejudices. If we don't win the business, give us fair feedback that allows us to learn and improve, and level the playing field for us to win business. For the SMEs here today, be aspirational, stretch your wings. There is a lot more that you can do by doing business with government.